It had been raining hard for 2 days, and the water rushing out of Lake Okeechobee had risen so much that it covered the railroad tracks. And though the clack of steel wheels on steel rails told me otherwise, it seemed as if we were skimming free of the tracks across the surface of the still rising water. Only an hour earlier, my mother, my brother, and I waved goodbye through the rain to my father. Alone and wet among a crowd of strangers, he waved back from where he stood under the eaves of the station platform. It was September 17th, 1926, and I was 5 years old. Only a year earlier, my father brought us, my mother, younger brother, and me, to Moorhaven, Florida, on the southern shore of Lake Okeechobee. A series of boll weevil-ravaged cotton harvests drove us from the family plantation in northeast Georgia, a region that had been home to the McWhorter clan since they arrived from Scotland in the late 1700s. Consequently, the move to Florida was not made lightly. But my father had to make a living, and South Florida in the mid-1920s seemed to be a place where one might be made. There was a land boom underway, and rampant speculation had created a booming economy. My father went to work for a dredging company that clawed canals out of the mucky landscape in order to drain parts of the Everglades for farming. I remember going out to visit him one day and becoming fascinated by the huge suction dredges that floated in the canal. They made a tremendous roaring noise as they sucked up the black muck and pumped it onto the edge of the canal. While I was there, the big intake pipe on one of the dredges became clogged, and my father had to dive beneath the horrid glop to clear it. But now, a great hurricane, in concert with economic realities that would lead ultimately to the Great Depression, was delivering a wake-up call to the developers and businessmen, and those of us who hoped to ride their coattails to riches, or at least to a decent living.